I just went to my first solar social networking event held by one of the stock suppliers, and it was really interesting. I think the event itself bombed. The people that were speaking were just speaking about what they did. Just, when someone's just talking about themselves for a really long time, you're like, why am I still listening to you talk about yourself? There wasn't really a lot in it for the audience, and there wasn't a lot of energy and passion. But I did actually meet one of the speakers after, and all he is a salesperson for one of the solar companies, just for a representative, an area representative for Perth, for example. And he was a really nice guy, and he was like interacting with him was really good, but none of that really came out when he was speaking on the thing. I think the only reason, towards the end, it started livening up a little bit, but that's because everyone was fucking half pissed. So yeah, definitely for creating an event, if you want people to show up just for whatever reason, giving them alcohol is probably a good idea, but the quality of people drops pretty significantly as the alcohol starts pouring. So, but I met a couple of cool people, and I wasn't actually trying to get any leads or anything like that. I was just going there just to see how the event was laid out and to see how the style was and what the feeling was, and if just all of that sort of stuff. But I am just merging here. But freeway north. Sorry. And yeah, then learnt a lot about the. Actually, I didn't learn a lot about that. I was just talking to stall. I learned that I would be a lot better at speaking in front of people than these people, and purely just because I'm really excited about what I'm doing. People were asking me what I was doing, and I was trying to follow the rules of the mum test by Rob Fitzpatrick. There's a book which talks about, trying not to present your ego, put your ego on the line when you're talking about things. And I was just asking people more about themselves rather than talking about myself. And that seemed to work really well. People were, wanting to just talk about what they're doing and what they're excited about. And I met someone that I'd known from a long time ago in solar. I was going to say a long time ago, and it was very funny I asked him, did you work with these guys for a little while? And he was like, yeah, those snaky bastards. And I just laughed, and I said, I was one of the owners. And he's like, oh shit, sorry, man. And I was like, dude, I don't mind. Like, when we were doing door to door, we were selling things at high margins, and the feeling was not as ethical. Like, it definitely wasn't. We didn't care about reviews. It was more about just trying to get sales. When our business had to transition because of COVID out of face-to-face, we were forced to, go online, or we could have either collapsed or go online. We went online. We realized very quickly that you had to play in a different game when you go online. You've got to have reviews, and and he said, be more competitive, which I challenged that. I said, well, yeah, I know what you mean, but also trying to figure out how to not be gripped into that competitive sort of side of things, and just being able to talk real about things with people was really, I don't know, I felt good about just being myself there. People were sort of giving these just, when you can tell people are kind of doing bullshit interactions, a fake curiosity into something. You can just, I don't know, I'm really clued onto that stuff. I think most people are. And there's an inauthentic interest in what people are doing. And so I think this is one thing I've learned from my friend Shane, that he's really good at just asking questions about things that he's interested in, or things that other people are interested in, and just get the conversation more engaging for both people. And I put a lot of that spice into it, and it was really fun. And because Shane's been to a lot of those networking events and stuff, so I really took that advice on board, as well as remembering sort of the core lessons from that book, The Mum Test, which was It's a good book, actually. As I started reading it, I didn't sort of think about the value of that book, but I am actually practicing some of the things. Like I said, trying not to present my idea to someone and trying to actually just ask them more questions about what they're doing. About, if I've got, for example, a lead generation business, instead of talking about what I'm doing as a lead generation business, I want to know what they're doing for lead gen. How are you currently getting leads? Like, are they good leads? Or, and not trying to fucking use it to sell. I mean, because you are, but that can't be the intention. It's actually just trying to find out more information about the people. And that's the whole sort of feeling that I had behind going to this event. And I met three people there that I didn't know before today, or I hadn't connected with before today. And that's cool. Like, those relationships may not go anywhere, but I also learned a lot about power purchasing agreements and setting up, electricity retailers and distribution and building projects. And yeah, it's just a very different experience from what I've been doing in the last few years, and it was very wholesome. I felt great. Basically, I felt in my element when I was there, and I felt encouraged to keep doing what I'm doing. And people were asking me like, "Oh, how are you going? How's business?" And so I've just started. So I've got a couple projects that I'm working with, but it's still early days, and but I tried not to speak too much about myself, and I think that worked well. So anyway, I just wanted to post up my experience and my excitement. I think I can run much better organized events. I think games is a good thing. Like, we played a game at the end of the event, and I think that'd be a great way to start off an event is to play a game and get everyone like sort of riled up and having a bit of fun instead of saving it for the end. I think the energy should be there in the first. Play a game, get everyone in, and then if you want to present something, you can present. But it really, when I walked in there, it was kind of an empty, quiet, awkward room. People had their little cliques, and if you weren't sort of good in social situations, it would have been really hard to break into it. So if you had the couple little sort of side games, and the people were playing that, and then people were like meeting each other, I really remembering my brother and his partner's wedding was just one of the most fun days that I can remember having in a long time, with family and stuff. And there's two different families, and typically at a wedding, the family groups will stick to the people they know, because it's so safe. But it's a union of two people, and my brother and his wife now did an excellent job of bringing those two families together in that day, and that was just probably one of my favorite memories. And so I would like to recreate a lot of that as much as possible in any events that I hold, because I think people would like to come back to those types of events. That's the type of event I'd like to be part of as well. And I don't want to, when I say that this event felt like a timeshare, it's, that cold empty room, you go into it, you don't really know where you should be or what you're doing or how the day's going to go, but you look at the layout of the presentation, okay, for these two 20-minute blocks, I'm going to be spoken at by these two companies, and then the rest of the time is just drinking and having interactions with people that, as the night goes, the connectivity wasn't there, and I feel like it's going to be really easy to do an event, and I don't want it to be about like me trying to present stuff as well. I want to, people have questions they can come up and ask, and other than that, it's just about having a fun time. I think that sounds like a much better event, and potentially those events might, people might be interested in joining them and coming along to them. So, cool learning lesson, though. That's the main thing. Very, very good learning lesson, and I did enjoy myself tonight. Until next time.